welcome inside Coca-Cola Coliseum, Toronto's third home game of the season, for the Sceptres' first meeting with the Montreal Victoire. Toronto undefeated against Montreal in the PWHL. Looking to change that is Elaine Chuli, the 30-year-old from Waterford, Ontario, with her second start this season. And for the Sceptres, today it's about Reagan Kirk, her first PWHL start. And for Montreal, it will be Sandra Abstrider backing up Chuli tonight. And Renee Desbiens under the weather, but she's expected to be back soon. Two best teams in the PWHL's inaugural season, but a new chapter now, meeting for the first time at Coca-Cola Coliseum. And it's Toronto with the first face-off win to get things started.
Well, and that's a good start for Toronto to win that opening face-off when Kristen O'Neill's coming in at 77%.
Small sample size, but O'Neill's such a steady presence at the dot. O'Neill quick to get back on the puck behind the net of Kirk. Gosling with the reach, gets the puck back. She'll carry it into Montreal territory. Big stop by Chuli to start the saves for the Victoire. Another chance right in front. Bit of a bouncy puck on that one. Izzy Daniel is in the slot. Barak sends it back. Abby Boreen took some punishment in the circle. Lena Youngbloom just battling for the Victoire as well. Turnbull. And for the feet to Malte. Backhand. Izzy Daniel on the doorstep. Couldn't get the right angle on it. Barak able to cut the path short for Laura Stacey.
A few big hits here to start the game for Toronto. That's three, so you got to wonder if that's not part of the conversation, which is be physical.
Here's the matchup. Poulin, Renata fast. They expect the best defenders on them. Hannah Miller. She's tied with Renata Fast as points leader for the Sceptres, each with 4. Stacey and Poulin. The shot. Beautiful kick saved by Kirk in her debut, or rather her first start.
Well, and that's not the 2-on-1 you want to give up right away. Stacey and Poulin, there's not maybe a more dangerous duo in the league.
This is a huge test for someone like Reagan Kirk, PWHL rookie, coming off of 3 years at Ohio State. Previous to that, Robert Morris.
Well, she's really had to earn her starts, and Troy Ryan had said that he likes that about her character. She did not go into Ohio State and take over the starting role. It took her a couple of years, and so she really battles.
Emma Woods, she managed a goal against her former club on Wednesday, despite the 4-2 loss against the Sirens. Katie Tabin looks back, has LaBelle there. Woods chips it. Oh, that could have been something. Lauren Bernard right on the doorstep once more. Toronto finding their way into the middle.
Well, and that's a big thing for them, right? Find a way to create offense, put the other team under pressure.
This is quickly now getting out of their own end. Turnbull turning on the speed, cutting. Takes the sharp angle. Malte was there. Another chance to get going. Blair Turnbull certainly fired up, talks about feeling that frustration. 3 straight losses for the Sceptres. Below the goal line, but that one-on-one with Barak. They're in tight, these two Team Canada stalwarts as well. Back out Stacey, just out of reach. Wilgren flips it back to Barnes. Victoire settling it down. Poulin. Cross ice to Barnes. She'll carry it over the line. Montreal with some fresh legs. Absolutely bowled over Jennifer Gardner with the hit. And it's going to cost Montreal. We see our first power play for Toronto.
Well, Renata Fast turned to try to reverse that puck and then ultimately got hit on the numbers. So that's going to lead them to their first power play. And Troy Ryan had said they're really not getting a ton of power play opportunities because they're not necessarily playing the right way. They're not putting their opposition under pressure. Right here, Renata Fast turns, takes that one from behind. And so this is a good start for them to give them that offensive opportunity. You know, the penalty kill has been struggling so much that for them, special teams have been a real factor in their games.
Toronto first on the power play in this game. It's brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Paper towel, power 3 tough messes. Toronto 2 for 9 this season on the power play. Those goals scored by Miller and Sarah Nurse, who now carries it over the line. Izzy Daniel is looking to redirect it in. Fast settles it back over to Hannah Miller. The shot back out. Daryl Watts off the wall, sends it cross ice once more. Miller, another shot. Creating some angles. Watts comes in, takes the shot just high off the glass. Some sustained pressure here in this power play. Fast from the point, traffic in front. Mariah Keppel in the mix for the Victoire. Back out Izzy Daniel, looking to shake off Stacy. Miller again had Sarah Nurse down low.
Well, it looks like Toronto really has a shot mentality on this power play.
Oh. Big time play by Kirk to get the puck up to Daryl Watts, but she's double teamed. LaBelle and Wilgren closing out that lane. Poulin. Montreal shorthanded right now. And they have their captain looking to control the puck and flip it out. Poulin does have a jailbreak goal on the season.
Only goal of the year is that shorthanded goal, and
right here, watch me here.
Dangerous at any point on the ice.
Big pass from Flanagan out to Turnbull. Brings the puck back below the goal line. Elaine Chuley watching from her net, and out they go. 15 seconds left on this power play. Now, Toronto has never scored a power play goal against Montreal. They were 0 for 14 last season in their 5 regular season games. Here, Dalton. And it's Anna Shelbin who's able to close that out. Back to even strength. Out comes Jennifer Gardner. Immediate impact as Gardner has the puck once more. She takes it, looking for the centering feed. Not quite. George settling back down, but Barnes with control, high slot, looking for the lane. It's high. So the first power play fruitless for the Sceptres, and it's a scoreless start here at Coca-Cola Coliseum.
Welcome back. We are tied 0-0 in the first. Toronto hosting the Montreal Victoire. It is the cancer awareness game. 21,000 raised so far and counting for the Canadian Cancer Society. Everyone on their feet here supporting Erica Howe, Toronto's backup goalie. Last year, unfortunately diagnosed with breast cancer this August. A hero in this community. Everyone on their feet. You can feel the emotion. Everyone playing here, of course, for Erica Howe. If you'd like to donate, there is a cue card on that screen. Daniela, Becky, it is quite the energy here today.
Absolutely, Anastasia. You can feel that emotion and that underlying fuel, not only for Toronto, but everyone who knows and has played with Erica Howe, and so many have. She has touched the lives of so many as well here in Ontario, hosting goalie camps. The game not on the line, and both these teams looking to break early. Keppel, the battle right in front. Big sprawling save for Reagan Kirk.
That's a great job from Kirk to find that puck, get down, look through traffic, and then find it, smother it, and get that whistle.
At the dot, the pressure from Toronto's end. Woods off the wall. That's opened up some space for Jessie Comfort. She flies in, takes it all the way around as Keppel tracks her. Back out and on the stick this time of Maureen Murphy. She puts it on her. LaBelle with the rebound, and another. Amanda Boulier came flying in for a third try, but Kirk standing tall.
Maureen Murphy with a burst of speed too, and I don't think Renata Fast saw that coming. Quick inside move to the out, and she is off to the races. And Reagan Kirk, what a start for her game. 1, 2, 3 saves before she gets a glove on that puck. What a flurry of activity. Great way for this young goaltender to start.
Maureen Murphy had 16 points last season. Laura Stacy puts it right off that draw. David rips around to Poulin. Trying to shake off LaRock. It gives Izzy Daniels some room. Flipped out to Fast. Moving in quick. That zone entry denied by Katie Tabin. This is exactly the type of play these two teams demonstrated all throughout last season. Coming in high slot off the post. Wow, what a look by Gardner. Katie Tabin now out to Erin Ambrose. It around. Stacy. Sealed off by Kirk, and a scrum ensues. Back on the stick of O'Neill. Keeps it in, sends it back to Abby Boreen. Back down pressure. Sceptres. Stretch pass up to Watts. Can't control it. Another chance here in the neutral zone. Monroe and Watts. It squeaks by down into the Victoire end. Anna Wilgren playing it up. The crowd reacting now. Lena Ljungblom. She flips it back to Wilgren. Has some support down low. Barnes on the ice. Oh, got a penalty coming.
Well, I got to think what they're calling is Daryl Watts. And we talked about the frustrations on this team. She gets tripped by Kristen O'Neill and then proceeds to get up, grab O'Neill's stick, and throw it down the ice. And the referees are telling her, yeah, you know what, you can't do that. And so into the box she'll go. And those are the penalties you don't want to take.
Poulin, the puck. Montreal's power play unit. Ambrose flips it down to O'Neill. Stop short in the rock. She'll press it against the boards. Monté in there too. Fast. Getting in there too, throwing around her weight. This board battle. They need to be broken up. Enough movement there. Monté will go for the clear.
Well, we talked a lot about the frustrations on the penalty kill, but Troy Ryan did say when he can get the 4 players out he wants, he thinks they have the best penalty kill in the league.
And here comes Laura Stacey. Puts it on Kirk. Toronto did not get a single shot off in their power play, but in comes flying Comfer, and she's short-handed. Hands on it, could have been something. Had support from Miller. Take it back the other way, Stacey. On her is Callie Flanagan. Along with Monroe. They'll trade hits for hits here. Toronto on the penalty kill. They are last on the PK, sitting at 54% coming into this game. Michaela Grant-Mentis. That's the back to Boreen. They'll take it along the far wall. Now from the point, it squeaks by Barnes.
It's a great job on this PK from Toronto and just not allowing Montreal to get in and get set up. And it's one of the things Montreal has done very well. Get in, get set, and start to get offensive opportunities. Just 2 goals on the power play right now, but a ton of chances.
Another chance here. 15 seconds left on the power play. Gardner fires it around to Boreen, but there's Larocque. Catching, covering that corner. Back out. Gardner to Grant-Mentis. Grant-Mentis looking for some space off the post again. So close, and back to even strength we go. But Grant-Mentis with the puck once more. It's 5-on-5. Tries to pull it through the legs of Fast. Not quite. Here's Izzy Daniel. She feeds it through to Nurse with a setup in front, but it gets caught. Mariah Keppel. First period of chances here. Now Caitlin Willoughby with speed. Drives it all the way around the net. Up. The shot in front. Victoria Bach is on the doorstep. Now she has it. As Maggie Connors is out there. And they just keep putting the pressure. It's offside.
Well, and I got to think by the time you start getting into this season, that rivalry is going to build. With all the hits we've seen already, half of a period here today.
Yeah, haven't missed a beat. They last played back on April 20th. This is also the 6th venue they've played in. They've never faced each other in the same barn twice. Not yet, anyway. And given the game in Vancouver, and then there's Place Bell, those are also new venues for these two.
Crazy stat with it being a Mattamy Center and Verdun and all the various places that they have played.
Coming out, Scotiabank and Bell Center as well. Big sellout games. Sarah Nurse driving the action. Bernard plays it back to Miller. Now Daryl Watts. She's stripped of the puck, and Boulier will flip it out. Kept in by Lauren Bernard. Nurse, patient. Pass over to Rylan McKinnon.
Monroe tries to rim it around. Gosling knocked over. Now Comfer. She'll carry it over. Has Woods with her, along with Flanagan. Puts it around the boards. Woods trying to get in front now. Comfer. She's kept off it by Tabin. Tabin's so effective at taking up space, using her hips to free the puck. Now Catherine Dubois. Woods plays it down to Gosling. Gosling with a chance, backhand shot. Does set up Woods for a potential wraparound, but it's kept out from the traffic in front.
And that will absolutely... It's another trip to the penalty box, a hooking call.
Well, and that's not one you want to take. And you know, they're throwing heavy pressure, and unfortunately, they wind up in the penalty box. You know, you're 200 feet from your own net. But love this shift, and you start to see someone like Julia Gosling using what she does best, is her size, her strength. She comes in, of course, she's on her backhand. It's a hard shot, but she gets that off on net. Ultimately, that pressure leads to the trip and then to the penalty.
Blair Turnbull in the penalty box. Their best PKers according to head coach Troy Ryan and Ambrose. Sends it down. Both teams have had a chance with the player advantage. Now they break through. Berlin. O'Neill watches the puck skim by. Stacey gets it back along the near wall. Woods reaches it first. Back out. Stacey along the line now. Setting it up. Berlin, but a huge save by Kirk.
Well, and a couple of good chances off of this, and again, it's going to come off. We sound like a broken record, but it's going to come off of a Montreal 1 face-off. And you start with Kristen O'Neill down net front. She's so good down there. You can't give her that much time and space. She turns and gets that one off, and then, of course, Poulin to Stacey. Stacey to Poulin.
Does it again. Poulin. Stacey one-timer. Just wide. O'Neill. Back out Ambrose. They'll keep cycling this one. Stacey. Calling for it. Back. Ambrose from the point. Down. Rebound. Stacey gets it back. Montreal power play. Aaron Ambrose. Soft touch to Poulin. Poulin comes in. Rings the post once more. My goodness. For Stacey. Another chance. Ambrose. Up to Poulin. Murphy in the slot. O'Neill by the goal line. That Murphy one-timer. That one just wide too. They've had the chances, Montreal. And there, a moment to breathe for the Sceptres.
This power play has looked so dangerous all year, and they've only connected twice, but really good quality scoring chances have come off of their power play.
Montreal does have the fewest goals for so far. They do have 2 wins on the season early here. This is just their 4th game, given the longer break they had after the international break. 20 seconds remain here on a Victoire power play. All power plays this season brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel. Shelbin up to Gardner. Gardner with a power play mark throughout the season. Taken up by Monroe. Comfort off the wall. Murphy and Windbloom. Check that Abby Boreen. She sends it back to Barnes. Now walking along the blue line. Staying from the far point. Shelpin. Slap shot. Picked up again by Barnes. We're now at even strength. 5-on-5. Another chance. Fended off by Kirk. Turnbull. Fresh out of the penalty box. Cut through. So that's 2 good penalty kills for the Sceptres. We approach the final 4 minutes of the first period.
Yeah, a couple good solid penalty kills, and for Toronto, it's going to give them a bit of confidence.
Izzy Daniel can't regain control. Bernard sweeping in, not quite. Another chance here for Montreal. One-timer by Tabin. Bounces back behind Dubois. LaBelle. Tabin once more in traffic this time. Can they break through? Montreal. They've had far more chances. Another one gloved easily by Kirk. And Reagan Kirk with some big stops. Help from the post. 3.5 left in the first period. Still goalless in Toronto.
This league is full of fun rivalries, and right now the scoring chances are 12-1 in favor of Montreal. So I don't think that break has hurt them.
Ice heavily tilted right now. Of course, a full 2-week break. They last played back on December 6th. It was a big win at the Canadian Tire Center. Grant Mentis down in front to DeGeorge. She bowls over Monroe, and away we go. Anna Wilgren flips it out to Claire DeGeorge once more. Grant Mentis nearly pulling away. Far side. Stops Barnes. Once again, battle in that far corner. Toronto's end, a busy pocket of ice here. Allie Flanagan has Watts. It's off the wall and kept in by Wilgren. Sarah Nurse felt that one. Consistent pressure here to keep the action on the offensive for the Victoire. Back out Flanagan. Now Daryl Watts. She's going to put on the speed. Last time she was at home, scored her first PWHL goal. It wasn't a loss to Minnesota. The team's looking to open things up before heading into the locker room. 2:20 left here in the first. Flying in, Daryl Watts was on the doorstep. Chuli covers up. Watching the puck go the other way. Now Katie Tabin rims it around. Poulin waiting on the other side. The Rock keeps her off the puck, fast. Up to Izzy Daniel. And we've got a loose puck chase happening. Tabin and Malte, can't fire that one. LaRock was waiting for it. Jennifer Gardner just looking to keep it down. Emma Woods. LaRock once more.
Well, and you're seeing a lot of fast in LaRock whenever you see that Poulin line, trying to do whatever they can.
And now another chance in front. She scores! Jessie Comfer puts the Sceptres on the board.
This is exactly what happens when you're able to keep this game close. Right now, Montreal should have a sizable lead. They've had 3 posts. They don't. The door is still open, and Comfer is able to come out of the corner and just rip this one. She comes out on her forehand, and so she's able to, you watch Toronto down here, they get in on the forecheck and just rip that one on her forehand. And so taking advantage of some of the few mistakes that Montreal has made. They haven't made a lot, not much from her knees. Beautiful shot. A big goal for Jessie Comfer.
Her only goal last season was also against Montreal. That was a big one. Battle on Bay Street. Finally broke the deadlock that went into the third period there. It was at Scotiabank Arena.
Well, that was huge, and looking like it was going to be a 0-0 game, go to overtime, and Toronto opened things up a little bit that day for sure.
A big goal for the Sceptres. It's her second goal of the season. Michelle Bin sends it around. Sarah Nurse. Renata Fast. Another chance. They score! Sarah Nurse makes it 2 for Toronto.
Sarah Nurse starts this play, and then she finishes this play. And what a sequence for Toronto when they've been on their heels all period. And watch Sarah Nurse come off the wall with this little move, makes the move, pulls it in. She beats 2 players to hit fast and then follow it up. Goes to the net, which is what goal scorers do. Goes to the net after she makes the pass, puts in the rebound.
Nurse again, now finds Watts, and right in front, that could have been something. Hannah Miller. Lane Chuli with the dive there. Another chance, skims past the crease.
Well, what an end to the period for Toronto. Another glorious scoring chance.
And the teams will now head into the locker room. The Sceptres up 2-0 on Montreal, while the Victoire are still vying for a first win over this Canadian rival. Our Anastasia Busis will take us back as we return after the first period. Toronto 2-0 over Montreal.
Coach Ryan, after 20, the score is in your favor, but what do you make of the last 2 minutes left period?
Yeah, nice obviously to get on the board. I thought Kirk made a couple saves to get us, keep us in the game against some of their strong power play. Just nice to get a couple goals to head into the second intermission.
We've seen some fluidity in your lineups. What are you looking for to start building that consistency?
Yeah, I think, if we get the chemistry right now, we're mixing things up. We're only a few games into the season, so we're going to try different units, different deep pairs until we find something we're comfortable with. So it's just a constant work in progress until we get comfortable with what we have.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Right now, O'Neill wins it for Montreal to start the second period. They'll be looking to start that comeback quickly. They've been shut out twice by Toronto. That was their last regular season series, but they've played very close games when they have been able to score, both going to extra time, one ending in overtime, the other in a shootout. Gosling tries to keep it. Now Comfort, who opened up scoring, plays it up to Gosling. Ambrose gets away, another chance. Confusion in front, but that one just wide. Chuli caught off balance by one of her own. That's Kayla Barnes in the crease.
That makes things tough on the start when your defender goes into you.
Elaine Chuli has such an incredible career record. 7 wins, 2 losses, and she's coming off that big regulation win against Ottawa, but when you think about her only regulation losses come against Toronto.
Well, and she's facing a little bit of pressure right away, and Katie Tabin coming into the crease. Now, I got to think if that one went in, you'd have been looking at a goalie interference call. This would put her into the crease.
No cast. Brings it all the way near side of the rock, playing it out. Tay was in the slot too. Tabin racing to it. Tay nearly getting around Youngbloom. Caught up on Turnbull.
Youngbloom kind of squeezed the stick. Turnbull was looking for a penalty.
Here come the Sceptres. Daryl Watts tries to find Miller. Crowd reacting. Flanagan keeps it in from the point. Bodies in front. Traffic deflecting. Now Maureen Murphy. She wore number 15 last season. She's 21 this time. She comes in. Steps wide. LaBelle to Keppel. And they'll send it around. Amanda Boulier is there. She had a chance as well. A shot. It was one of 3 in quick succession against Kirk in the first period. Nurse keeping it for herself. Moves it around Connors. Setting up on the attack. Not quite here for the Sceptres. Wobbly puck. Keppel collects. Claire Dalton. She's forced to send it around as Connors cuts off her path, and Lauren Bernard gets a stick. Back out Victoria Bach. She'll carry it over. Moves it around. Connors kept off it by Erin Ambrose. Defender for the Victoire, but Jocelyn Larocque, she feeds it out to Annika Renkala, who's making her PWHL debut. She's in today for Noemi Neubauer-Rova. Now Abby Boreen with the moves and the shot. She scores! What a goal for Abby Boreen, and Montreal cuts the deficit in half.
Well, what a goal. And you know Abby Boreen has offense, and we saw that limited times when she was playing with Minnesota last year. What a great sequence of moves just to wait and see. I'm going to go one way. No, I'm going to come back the other. And then in she goes and rips this shot. And just a great individual effort and a beautiful goal. And I just love the fact that she's got the awareness to realize I've gone one way, but my defender has gone with me. So I'm just going to push it back to the other side and attack from there. What a nice goal.
Her second goal of the season. Played with the Walter Cup champion Minnesota Frost last season. The reserve player that they loved to bring into the lineup. I remember head coach Ken Cree saying, we just want to keep her out there playing, but that's not quite how the rules work for reserve players. So Montreal picked her up in the draft right now. It's a 2-1 lead for Toronto. Youngbloom looking for support. Chance here to tie things up early. Barnes feeds it down. She had Dalton and Boreen as well. We've got a glove and a stick on the ice in Toronto's end, but right now Julie playing the puck.
A couple players a little bit tangled up down there, and we used to call that a yard sale when that happened.
Nurse and Maltais trying to keep the pressure here in Montreal's zone. Wilgren, Poulin. Gardner able to clear it. The Rock giving chase, sends it in there, connects with one of the many loose items out on the ice.
Well, and the right idea, right? Get that puck moving quickly, fast. She's got Poulin on her.
Maltais to Nurse. Nurse tries to pull that through and create some space in the middle. Maureen Murphy coming through, fires it down off the end boards. Fast. Getting into it now, Turnbull and Larocque. Boulier. Next goal for the Victoire ties things up, and if they can do it early in the second, certainly opens up some space. These two teams play each other so closely when they both score. Going through Watts, McKinnon, Miller. What a rush from the Miller line. Turnbull fires it into the far corner. Collect is Ambrose, now Murphy. Toronto aggressive on the forecheck. Daryl Watts playing into that. More Bernard able to get a touch, but now Maureen Murphy with space and a save by Kirk. The crowd loves it. As Jessie Comfer does her thing, pulls it all the way. The Montreal end. Woods and Monroe keeping it in from the point. Far side, Flanagan. Keppel for Montreal. Fend off to Gosselin. Boulier finds the puck. Monroe closing out these lanes. Big time collision center ice. Now Keppel tracking right along is Turnbull. Gosselin far side. She lays a hit on Dubois. Now Turnbull in front. They keep trying. Gosselin. Keppel gets pushed off the puck by Watts. Toronto coming out with urgency. Miller, the feed to Watts. And it bounces in front. Another chance. Big stop by Elaine Chuli. So many opportunities to score, and then this solo moment. Abby Boreen puts Montreal on the board 2-1.
Elaine Chuli has to be touched. She faced a sequence of shots just before the break, and Toronto really got their game going. Julia Gosling with this hit that creates this offense. Blair Turnbull comes in, throws this puck out front. Gosling again follows up to the front of the net, not able to beat Chuli. And it's Hannah Miller who comes in, just waiting in the weeds, picks that puck off, gets it over to Daryl Watts. Again, not able to find their way past Chuli. Some good offensive opportunities for Toronto.
Good face-off win by the Victoire. Their own end, Boreen. That first goal for Montreal. O'Neill keeps it out. Another chance now in the slot. Watts, not quite. Montreal now entering the zone. Boreen. And in the slot. That stopped short, but a loose puck. Miller finds it. Skirts it up to Daryl Watts. Here they go. Watts. Driven into the M boards by Anna Wilgren. Sends it down. David. Quick to it now, Stacy. Looking to slow things down, set things up here for Montreal. We have the lone goal so far of the second period. Chance here, Comfer rings it off, and it seems to be that net in particular just delivering a little bit of extra help to the goaltenders today. Barak to Gosling. He fires it off the body there. Tabin takes it away. Not quite fast. Gets it back for the Sceptres. Plays it in. Brings it below the goal line. Carries it around. Looks for the wraparound. Can't get the rebound. Barak from the point. Trying to set up Gosling. Another chance in front. Comfort. That'll set the tensions. Getting far too close for Comfort to Chuli.
I think that's just what it is. Montreal saying, you're not taking another poke at our goaltender. They throw the body, and Mary's good time protecting her goaltender, but Montreal does not transition this puck quickly. Toronto jumps on it, and there's another puck off the crossbar. I don't know if that net's a little bit smaller, Danielle, or the crossbar posts are a little bit bigger, but that's the fourth one. It's been hit in a period and a half.
But as it goes in hockey, both teams now benefiting from that. Not only Toronto, Perkins started in shots that dinged inside the Coca-Cola Coliseum in the first period. All of those from the Victoire. Back out, Connors comes in. She'll take it around. Toronto just looking to set up. Bach out. Flanagan can't quite keep it in, so they'll settle it back. Flanagan and Monroe. Picking it up. Caitlin Willoughby getting a touch too.
When they game plan against Toronto, they know they got to get the puck moving quickly because their forecheck is so strong. And when they don't, that's when Toronto has had their opportunities.
Montreal off the face-off here. Amanda Boulier sends it around LaBelle. Murphy is staying along the goal line too. LaBelle up to Boulier. She's looking for room. Grant Mentis from the outside now. With space, Boulier. She takes the shot, and it's tipped in. They score! Montreal ties things up, and that goal will go to Maureen Murphy with the tip-in.
Well, just a beautiful tip, good hand-eye, and you start to go back on plays, and it's the little things that make the difference. You don't get a stick on that puck to negate the icing, which means you're back into your own zone. Montreal with the face-off win, and then they go to work. And there's nothing special about this shot other than it's heads up, and you get it through, you get it to the net, you got a player going, you see Boulier with her head up, that fires that puck. Beautiful tip to get past Reagan Kirk. The big first goal of the season for Maureen Murphy. She only played in one game prior to this one in the season. She had 16 points in 24 games last season for Montreal. And just like that, we're tied at 2. Montreal taking a little bit more time than Toronto did to get those 2 goals. Toronto able to score 2 in 42 seconds to close out the first period. Once the Victoire get going, they love to put it on, and Gardner just taking a spill in the corner fast. Looking for that centering speed up to Malte. She bats it down. Laid off by Chuli. Daniel in the corner getting tangled up. Gardner again. Settles it. Turnbull takes it away. She puts the shot on Chuli. And a bit of a collision there at the end. With just over 9 minutes left in the second period, Montreal has tied this game up at 2. Maureen Murphy with the goal and assist by Amanda Boulier. Now, Sarah Nurse comes in. She'll step up. She already has a goal in this game so far. She drew that penalty. She got hit on the boards, draws the penalty, and then gets back up, goes to the net, and gets a scoring opportunity as well, and just turns her back to protect the puck. Gets hit on the numbers, and so you watch her pop right back up and goes, hey, you know what? I'm in a good spot here. Picks up the puck, walks to the net, and gets a good scoring chance.
So Kristen O'Neill is in the penalty box in this Royale Tiger Tail power play, the second of the game for Toronto. They did have a chance on the player advantage in the first, and they were unable to score in that capacity. They look to change things up here, get a go-ahead. Fast to Miller. Miller down, right in front. Once more. Chuli, though, dialed in. Nurse at the dot for Toronto, or will she have to be swapped out? Some words. The official here. Nurse wins it fast. One-timer by Watts. Through the traffic, now sets up a shorthanded opportunity. Poulin with Stacy. Into the middle, Stacy. That one just driven around the net. A short-handed opportunity for Montreal that would have sprang Kristen O'Neill free from the penalty box. Jailbreak rule as it is. Now Kirk settle it back. Minute 20 left here in Toronto's second power play of the game. Watts cuts through. Keeps it out to Nurse. But a good clear by Dalton.
Toronto just struggling to find their way in right now.
And having to make those changes, trying to get a sense of urgency. That's what head coach Troy Ryan also spoke about, is making sure they capitalize when they do have the player advantage. Now Julia Gosling. She puts it hard off the end boards. Turnbull looking to feed it up to Flanagan, but taking it away is Claire Dalton. Dalton on her own with the angle, and in front, LaBelle was right there.
It's a couple decent shorthanded chances for Montreal on this power play.
Big plays for the Victoire, shorthanded. Malte down to Victoria Bach, but that pressure from Barnes, they get tangled up. No call, they'll play on, but a board battle is chewing up time. 15 seconds left here in the Toronto power play. Collision with the official on the far wall, and that'll just about do it. Flanagan gets pressed up, but now they're in Toronto's zone. Claire DeGeorge, Toronto with one shot in that second power play. They had none the first time around. Comfort rims it around. Gosling far side. Daniel, send off to Victoire. Going to shake off Daniel, and a loose puck goes sailing all the way down. Skims by. There's Monroe looking back. O'Neill, Doreen from the point. Ambrose. It's picked up by Flanagan and Miller. Well, trying to set things up here. It's under 6 minutes left. Second period has been all the Victoire when it comes to goals in this frame, putting up 2 to tie the game. Watts flips it backhand. Bernard far side. He plays it around. Trying to get past Graham Mendes. Now another chance for Watts as she almost makes a dive for that play.
Oh, it's a nice shot. She reads it. She's got the seam and puts it on net.
Oh, just trying to regroup here, but Montreal effective. Now Jessie Comfort goes for it again. The goal in this game, plays it back, was trying to find McKinnon. This gives Michaela Graham-Mentis some space, and Stacy down low. Now Stacy again, feeding it out to Boulier.
Great back check from Emma Wood. She blew a tire in the corner, but a really good back check to make sure that this 2-on-1 doesn't develop.
Bin passes it back to Boulier for Montreal. Boulier with an assist on that Maureen Murphy goal. Her first in points with Montreal. She was previously with Ottawa. Now Larocque. The Sceptres need to go ahead. Larocque again. Hits it back. Turnbull puts it on. A chance. Izzy Daniels scores! Toronto regains the lead to make it 3-2.
Well, that's just a hard work goal. The team goes to work on the forecheck. They start throwing everything they can at the net. One of the things Corey Chevry knew about this team in the scouting report, they're going to shoot from everywhere. They look to shoot from there. They get the puck back again. They turn, they rip again, and there's Daniel all alone in front to put this one in. You got that shot mentality, you know pucks are coming from everywhere, then you know that net front player becomes really, really important. You know she's there, then no shot is a bad shot.
Izzy Daniels' second goal of the season. All kinds of fired up on that one. After Elaine Truly just making some tremendous saves for Montreal in this middle frame.
Her second goal of the season, scored by number
looking to get it back. Really was a team effort on that goal.
offense, you got to do it the simple way, and that's the way.
So Turnbull and LaRock have given assists on that Daniel goal. And that assist for Turnbull, her first point of the season. Now Daryl Watts to continue, add a little bit of space on the scoreboard. Not to be outdone, Maureen Murphy, she has a goal already. She's coming in with LaBelle, just wide this time. Stop at the line, Tabin. Steady defense for Montreal. Tabin with a shot right on the crest for Reagan Kirk. Just like that, Toronto able to regain the lead. The big goal by Izzy Daniel to make it 3-2 over Montreal.
You know, we talked about Renata Fast and Jocelyn LaRock always getting out with Poulin, and so it makes it tough on the Poulin line. But the flip side is true when they're trying to break the puck out, is that's the forecheck that they've got to face every time they pick the puck up. Not an easy task.
The neutral zone draw is won by the Sceptres. Pressure. Back near the net of Elaine Chuli. Julia Gosling getting to work for Toronto. Maureen got them on the board. Gosling again wins the battle there on the point. Lilgren rubbed out along the boards, and Emma Woods also taking a bit of a spill on that. Barnes rushing up to meet Monroe, but that's taken away by Ljungblom. Out to Kayla Barnes. Barnes fires it down. What a save by Kirk. Reads that to push it out. Lilgren. Kept off her feet there by Daryl Watts. And Claire DeGeorge battling too. Now Watts need to get past Maureen, does that time. There's a hit as well. McKinnon. Pressure down low for the Sceptres for Maureen. Jumps on the puck, flips it up, has friendly fire down low. Not quite. Sarah Nurse this time.
I don't mind that DeGeorge flip out of the zone. Maureen, she had DeGeorge going.
If they could have connected on that one. Now the loose puck. Now, Daryl Watts. Keep things up. Fast. Alexandra LaBelle will play it back to Ambrose. Aaron Ambrose with a big stretch pass. Will bring the action down to Toronto zone, but Fast coming in hot on Grant Mentis.
Well, you know, I can't say I blame her on that hit. Really smart play.
Taking away the eyes, Laura Stacey saying, of course, that's what they plan to do. Especially with a goaltender like Kirk, given that she's been standing tall here. This is her first PWHL start. She has dressed in all the games so far and came in for relief Wednesday. Poulin settles it back, takes the shot, now Tabin. Wow, what a sequence for Montreal.
Poulin and Tabin looking to connect again. Poulin coming off the wall with that shot, and Tabin driving down low. Kirk with the glove, though, is able to make sure that there's no rebound. From Poulin, quick stop, up, looks, fires that puck on net. She sees Tabin coming down that side, and I gotta think she's just shooting that puck, looking for that rebound.
Tabin has just been such a presence for Montreal in this game and beyond. Of course, a defender with the team from Winnipeg, but that'll close out the second period. 3 goals, 2 for Montreal to tie things up, and then the Izzy Daniel go-ahead goal to put the Sceptres back on top. The Sceptres lead the Victoire 3-2 through 2 periods inside Coca-Cola Coliseum.
Coach Chevy, the shots are in your favor. What's the game plan going into the third?
Yeah, I think we just need to stick with the game plan. Globally, we like our game right now. Just a couple of things to clean up, details and habit-wise.
The Poulin-Stacey line, we saw Grant Mentis last game. What's the philosophy there?
Yeah, we're just looking for different combinations that can generate some offense, and there's lots of players on our team who can play in that role, and so we're just looking for that combination.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anastasia. And Montreal head coach Corey Chevry. An update quickly. In the second intermission, an assist credited to Anna Shelbin of Montreal. That is her very first PWHL point. That was on the Murphy equalizer. And so they'll look to get going again, try to tie things up here in the third period.
Yeah, Corey Chevry said she likes the way that her team has been playing, and I would agree. I think they've been playing a very solid game. Toronto's been very opportunistic.
And it comes down. The third period gets underway. The Sceptres again starting this frame with a lead. There was a 2-0 lead to start the second period. Now 3-2. Izzy Daniels scoring her second of the season to put Toronto up by 1. Reagan Kirk with her first PWHL start. She's made 26 saves so far. Flanagan gets it below the goal line, but Kayla Barnes quick to it. Throws it out to Stacy, but Daryl Watts will take it away. Now Watts can't get the shot off. Does put it on the pad of Julie. She covers up. Sent around Larocque once more. All over the ice today. Izzy Daniel. Toronto just wants to set up some pressure here in the Victoire, and they didn't spend much time this side in the first period. Heavily tilted ice. And then 2 quick goals for the Sceptres. Larocque. Montreal looking to come away with it. Laura Stacy. Take it up the near side using the wall. Watts at Larocque. There's LaBelle getting in the mix. Not enough, so putting on the speed. Setting up the rush. Nurse. Watts. They're right there. Miller looking to put it away. Here we go the other way. Gardner. And Grant Mentis Boulier in the mix too. Gardner throws it on the body of Kirk. Vial gets it back again. Another chance to set something up. Boulier pestered by Miller. Nurse throws a tire, and another chance in front. Grant Mentis was there. The far side, Gardner push to the perimeter. Lots of bodies in the way. Now Katie Tabin comes in. It's offside. The Sceptres come away with it now to get it out of their own end. Gosling tries to flip it up. Successful in the neutral zone, but Stacy keeps it away. Puck protection denied there by Comfort. And Kirk watches, follows out. Now Katie Tabin with a spin move, gets the pass up to Poulin, and Laura Stacy with speed. A quick stick by Turnbull. From behind, loosens the puck there. Maureen Murphy, she can't keep her stick on it, but there will be a power play on the way for the Victoire.
Maureen Murphy's taken down to send Montreal back to the power play, but you're trying to get these favorable matchups. Toronto wants to be on the ice. They want Renata Fast on the ice with this Poulin line, and so you look off to the side there and you see that quick change. Bernard, they got stuck on the ice on an icing. She gets off quick to get Fast on. Another big hit by Comfort, and then the penalty. That stick in Maureen Murphy's feet. Montreal back on the power play.
We've got 2 of their better PKers out in Turnbull, who's taking this face-off. Gardner for Montreal, and so the Sceptres come away with it. Is Montreal power play. Montreal Tiger Tail power play. Abby Bouquet sends it out. Chance here, Kayla Barnes. Neither team has been able to strike on the power play so far. Grant Mentis sends it to Gardner. One-timer Barnes, hard off the end boards, but setting up for all the players down low. Young in the mix there with Boreen and Gardner trying to dig at it. Stalemate with Woods and Monroe for the Sceptres. Back out to Barnes. She holds. Takes it back. Turnbull quick to come up. Now Grant Mentis. That one blocked by Woods. Out to Barnes again. Quick cycling. Gardner hangs on, finds a better lane. Takes the shot. In traffic. It's a good clear for Emma Woods.
Well, there's the clear that Toronto needed. They were partway through a line change. They got stuck on the ice, so now they get the unit of 4 out that they want out.
That's Nurse, Flanagan, Daniel, Larocque. Montreal power play, a chance here to get the equalizer. Early in the third, Stacey fires it in the far corner. Chases on Larocque, rims it around. Stacey gets it back. She's on the move, drawing blue jerseys her way. Ambrose. It's time. Sends it back up to Stacey. And again, they trade passes far side. Ambrose setting it up. She take the shot. Finds Poulin with the pass. Back out to Ambrose through traffic. It just skims wide. Aaron Ambrose, the only player for a power play goal for Montreal against Toronto. And a one-timer by Stacey, denied by Kirk, and away they go. A good clear. The crowd reacting inside Coca-Cola Coliseum.
Well, Laura Stacey so dangerous on the one-time from there. We've seen her score from there. She practices it all the time.
It's great to see. If you're here for the warm-ups, it's a sight to see Stacey just taking those practice shots, but it was just one shot on goal for Montreal in their third power play of the game. We'll have another penalty coming. What happens now?
Rylan McKinnon will be ejected from the game. She's going to go down the tunnel into the dressing room, and so this is going to be a 5-minute penalty.
The penalty to be assessed is a major penalty for an illegal check to the head and a game misconduct.
And it's the game misconduct that sends McKinnon to the locker room. So the Victoire now with a chance to set things up, get that equalizer. One-timer Stacey, that one connects, but it just bounces behind. 5-on-4 with extended time here. Trying to break through, tie things up. Stacey settles back, plays it out. Ambrose to Poulin. He lets her one-timer go. Can't keep it in on the line. Ambrose back out to the captain, far side. The official's getting in the way, but it's offside.
Both of them with great shots from that position.
I expect them to play heavy minutes here. Poulin, Stacey, and Ambrose. So much chemistry between these three. The Sceptres go for the clear. Ambrose watches that. Stacey to Poulin. Time pass, throws it back. O'Neill. Back out to Ambrose. Stacey calling for it. Top of the circle. Down to Poulin. They'll cycle through. Change lanes. Another chance for Poulin this time. I think it gets a piece. They can't put it away in front. Ambrose again. Fires that one just wide, but it reaches Stacey. Poulin goes out for the change, but Ambrose, she'll settle it back, draw eyes her way. Chance in front. Stacey is on the knee, back down. Montreal with plenty of time here. Murphy out to Ambrose at the point. Ambrose walks it in. Stacey one-timer off the body in front of Fast and into the netting. What a block by Renata Fast.
Well, this is exactly what you have to do if you want to be on the penalty kill, and Renata Fast knows that one's going to sting. Stacey has one heck of a shot as she gets this one off. Fast gets out into the lane to get this block. Goes down, takes that one off the side, and then gets her stick up in the lane for the second opportunity. And this one goes out and out of play. It's just a great sequence for Renata Fast.
3:15 left in this Montreal power play. Royale Tiger Tail power play. Digging off the wall, Monroe feeds it out to Sarah Nurse, who chases down Kayla Barnes. Can't reach it fast enough. Barnes out to Lena Youngbloom. Down to Grant Mentis. And it'll be Sarah Nurse who grabs hold once more. Out to Malte, going for the change. It's going to be key for this Toronto penalty kill as well.
Well, you got a pair of forwards on the ice. They both just changed now, but Nurse and Malte, who they run the risk of going on offense too when they're on the penalty kill with their speed.
Gardner puts it in the near corner. Fast with a quick rim around. It's good to clear. Toronto holding here, a big penalty kill. Now Montreal sets up, quick stick by Larocque to change direction. Now loose in the neutral zone. Murphy to Stacey. She'll send it around. Far side is Kristen O'Neill from the point. Ambrose. Quick movement. O'Neill flips it around to Stacey again, but forced to the outside. Toronto keeping the Victoire far from Kirk at this time. Stacey. O'Neill is set up on the doorstep. Ambrose going to help with the tip-in. Poulin. Now Ambrose one-timer in front. O'Neill unable to get the tip-in. Now Ambrose comes in more. She'll catch the bodies in front not once but twice. Turnbull tries to clear. Poulin gets it back for Montreal. Stacey fakes it, takes the shot, kicked out by Kirk. Now Wilgren changing it up a bit through the legs of Barnes. Gets it back. Just a few more seconds, but Gardner tees it up just high. Wilgren from the point. Gives it back to Abby Boreen. Got Montreal on the board in this game. Back out to Wilgren. To Boreen and high slot, Caleb Barnes. Tees it up from the side, angle read by Kirk. Trying to seal it off. Caleb Barnes will try another angle. And it's a good penalty kill. As Annika Rankala leaps out from the penalty box. She was sitting in place, of course, for Ryland McCombs. Not in this game, getting the major penalty and a game misconduct for a hit to the head. And now Toronto hanging on to that 1-goal lead, looking to extend it with 4 big shots on goal in that power play effort for Montreal, and really back-to-back power plays as well. Gardner coming in through the neutral zone, and Flanagan fired up. Sceptres, the crowd rallying behind them after that. What a penalty kill, not only from the players on the ice, but Reagan Kirk in net for the Sceptres. Sarah Nurse on her own, she's going to come in. It's kept out. Toronto now, just a little bit of relief. Lauren Bernard using her body to keep that in. Now Watts flings it far side. Katie Tabin for the Victoire. Montreal looking for the equalizer. It's a 5-minute power play. And now Jessie Comfer will come in. She has Darrell Watts with her, takes the shot, bounces up. Julia Gosling fires it back, hits the glass. Big sequence for the Sceptres. Monroe, Comfer, and Gosling with touches. Comfer lays it out to the point. Monroe and fast. Loses her balance. Woods in front. It's a scramble for it. Chuli with the save. There's the whistle, and then of course you see the loose puck fly out. A frenzy of activity for the Toronto Sceptres after a major 5-minute penalty kill to keep their lead 3-2 over Montreal.
Toronto with a great job on the penalty kill. They've been penalty killing for 7 minutes of this period. Now, this is a penalty kill that coming into this game was at 54%. That is not a good statistic for Toronto, but what a day they're having on the PK so far. They've killed off 11 minutes. They've gotten into shot lane, blocked shots, done all the little things right. I'm sure Coach Ryan is going to be very pleased with his team's effort today. And, you know, when we talked to him earlier, we'd said to him, you know, you're kind of struggling on the penalty kill. He laughed and he said, that is an absolute understatement.
Oh, what a great flag. Sorry, I was just distracted there. The Kirk Shore, bit of a nod to the Lake Shore in Toronto. The Sceptres firing it down. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to laugh so you don't cry almost, because that PK, he said, it is bad. And in this game, it's come through the absolute most opportune times. Renata Fast with 3 block shots in that last 5-minute penalty kill, and Larocque with 2, putting their bodies on the line. Back out. Montreal had far more rest. Toronto playing on Wednesday. It's been 2 full weeks for the Victoire. Bouncy puck. Back below the goal line, and Sceptres, and plenty of time here for Montreal to get a tying goal. Some distraction in front. Lena Ljungblom, and they score! things up. And they do it at even strength. A massive goal for Lena Ljungblom. Her first in the PWHL.
I'll just take the wind out of the sails of Toronto. They're coming off of an amazing penalty kill and then give up this goal. And Ljungblom does a great job to stay with this. Reagan Kirk makes the initial save on her, and she stays with it, makes the backhand save, turns to her forehand, and finds the back of the net. Just an unbelievable sequence for Ljungblom. And Reagan Kirk, who has really battled in this game and made multiple saves time and time again, just can't find this second one. Ljungblom ties it up.
So while they had all the opportunities with an extra player on the ice, they did it 5-on-5. That was their specialty last season too. Becky, I remember talking with Corey Chevry when the Montreal power play couldn't get going. Now a chance. Miller kicks it out into the slot. LaRocque is there. He'll play it out to Daryl Watts from the point in front. No one to tip it in. Traffic stops the momentum. Now Gardner setting something up for Montreal. Back out, Daryl Watts. It comes through as Miller with her. Huge block by Ambrose to stop anything from getting close to Chuli. Back out, fast. Abby Boreen also credited with an assist on that goal by Ljungblom. Back out fast. Maybe some time to set something up. LaRocque doesn't connect with Miller. Miller takes a hit. Grant Mentis. Quick stick. We're all tied up at 3. Toronto looking to get the lead back. Once more, Montreal has yet to get a go-ahead goal in this game. Bell will send it to the far corner of the sector zone. Monroe tries to carry it out. Flanagan up to Turnbull this time, putting on the speed. Taking the scenic route, has Daniel on the doorstep. Back out. Shoots into the corner. Flanagan putting it towards the net. Monroe picks it up. Crowd drumming in support of the Sceptres. Flanagan from the point. Turnbull. Toronto can't seem to collect themselves. They go off for a change. Now Stacey, she's got space, driving the middle. What a shot. Could have connected there. Poulin and Stacey out for Montreal. Monroe lays a hit on Stacey. Now Jesse Comfer takes it away, gets in front. Out to Daniel. Daniel can't get the shot up. Does she? Does it trickle in? Chuli with some big stops. There's the whistle. Almost looked like it bounced over.
Well, Toronto with a good chance. Looked like maybe it hit the line, but no, it stays on Chuli's skate, then comes off. Under her, not under her, pops back out. Benefit of the quick whistle there from Montreal.
And that's where the action picks up here. The Victoire able to jump on that draw. And this race is on Boreen. Trying to get in front of LaRocque. LaRocque takes the heat in the corner. Now out fast. She plays it back behind the goal line. Fast has to jump on it once more. Now Sarah Nurse plays it up to Watts. A quick touch. O'Neill sends it back. O'Neill with an assist. That tying goal by Lena Ljungblom. Ljungblom, such an incredible pickup for Montreal. She was their final draft pick in the inaugural draft. We've seen this before from Montreal in this rivalry with Toronto. It was Poulin who had 2 big equalizers. And Ambrose with the one in at the Bell Center to force overtime. These 2 teams have needed extra time to decide 2 of their 5 matchups in the first season. Callie Flanagan trying to get it up to Woods. Wilgren sends it back as Ljungblom and Boreen. Now Gosling just trying to get around Wilgren. Back out to Ljungblom. Crowd trying to rally behind the Sceptres as time begins to wind down. Tabin got traffic in front. Sends it wide. Ambrose from the point. This sets up Stacey high slot. Burke able to reach that. Tabin Toronto with very few shots in this period. They defend off 7 minutes. Montreal power play. Stacey from the point. Knocked off by Kirk. Another chance. Stacey was set up there. Maureen Murphy had the goal in this game. Sarah Nurse gets it back for the Sceptres, and she has set up Julia Gosling. If she can get some control in front, Renata Fast denied there. Just wide, but they were set up beautifully for the Sceptres. Can they maintain the momentum? Callie Flanagan, just high. Back out Daniels. Emma Malte puts it towards the net. Nurse was there. Looks like Nurse going off the bench. Poulin as well, just dumping it. Monroe takes the hit from Murphy. Turnbull is dialed in. Minute 30 left here in the third period. 3-point regulation win would be nice for the Sceptres to get out of the basement in the standings. Monroe puts it on Wilgren. Now Anna Wilgren for Montreal entering the zone. She's pushed to the outside by Renata Fast. Dalton, this is where urgency is key, but so is patience. Approaching the final minute of the third period. Tied at 3. Well, they need extra time to decide. Kayla Barnes back out. It was late period goals in the opening frame that got Toronto on the board. Can they dig out? Montreal with the volume of shots. Taven looking for that space. Goes wide. Dalton, 35 seconds now left in regulation. Toronto with a chance. Turnbull will just take the long shot and go chase. Just batting at it. Alongside Katie Taven for Montreal. It's flipped up. Larocque kept in. 20 seconds to go. Miller rubbed out along the boards. Michaela Grant-Mentis can't hang on. Final 10 seconds of the third period. Tied at 3. Toronto, can they get another shot off? 3 seconds to go. And that will do it. We are headed into overtime. Well, Toronto undefeated against Montreal, undefeated in overtime. Can they hang on at home? The equalizer scored by Lena Ljungblom set things up for extra time in this game. 5 minutes, 3-on-3, and then if needed, a shootout. You get 5 shots per team, and the players, they shoot many numbers of times. Toronto with a key face-off win here to start things off. Malte working with Larocque, but now Stacey, she's going to put on the speed on a breakaway. Laura Stacey, she scores! For the first time, the Victoire takes victory against Toronto, and it's Laura Stacey in overtime.
Well, Toronto wins this face-off, and they drive the puck in. Emma Malte turns back, and then they turn the puck over right here, and this is just a quick chip to space. Smart play, Marie-Philippe Poulin to Laura Stacey in, quick to the backhand, and she beats Reagan Kirk for the game winner. And she just uses that speed. You're not sure if she's going to shoot, comes in, opens up the stick, and then pulls to the backhand.
Montreal makes history with a 4-3 overtime win over the Sceptres, their first ever win against Toronto. On behalf of Becky Keller, Anastasia Busis, our entire crew, and the PWHL, I'm Daniela Ponticelli. Happy holidays, everyone.